What is up, everybody? I am here up at the shop late at night again. I've got the Blazer, getting ready to do a little bit of work on it, but I wanted to give you an update real quick. Hopefully the fan isn't too loud, but where we stand with everything is the Humvee. I'm still waiting on the Ultra 4 4L80E transmission. It's going to be all billet, custom billet converter. It's going to be really awesome. In putting in the 4L80, it is a computer controlled transmission, so I am going to have to change really add a computer to the engine transmission combo, and I'll be getting into that more in a later video. As far as this thing goes, the reason I haven't posted many videos lately is because every time I've thought about coming up here and working on the K5, I get a little bit of not depressed, but definitely less motivated, because I'm still really disappointed in what it was that was given to me. Tonight we're going to take off the air intake system, and we're going to look at that and kind of figure out how we can redo it, because there are some other things that I've found with it. I've got a shop that I have hired that I'm going to take it to that will be doing the drive line of the truck, meaning the pinion angle right now is 2 degrees and the drive shaft is 26 degrees, and I have to get the pinion pointed to the transfer case. And in order to do that, and again, this is my fault because I took the truck as a roller, had it fully assembled in that respect, they're going to have to hack off the spring perches, hack off the shock mounts, and re-weld everything on after they've adjusted the pinion up. So I've got a shop that's going to do that. I'll show you some of the stuff that I've ordered right here real quick. I've got my spring perches with the 3 holes so I can move the axle forward or backward. I really don't need to, but just in case. I've got new shock mounts. This is the 6L80 converter. So that's the converter for the Blazer. It is a I believe it's a 2800 stall converter. I have a bunch of stuff. Oh, these are new brakes for the truck, which they're going to put on when they do the axle. New brake pads for the K5. Let's see. Oh, this is for the K5. These are drop mounts for the sway bar. I'm also bought, if you remember when I showed you the sway bar, which might be hard to see, the rubber bushings had come out because they were cut to fit, and 2, that metal just isn't the right bracket. And so I'm going to take you through my filthy shop full of parts real quick and show you. These are the factory mounts for the sway bar. I just need to powder coat those black. I've also got the hazard pull, which is a $3 part that for some reason never got put on. And so that's kind of where we're at, but now let's just get past all that. And what I'm going to do tonight is I'm going to take this entire thing out, the air intake tube, the mass airflow sensor, the Airbox, like I showed you before. It's beat up pretty bad, and of course inside, right back in here, its paint's chipped pretty bad. This glass top is cracked. This paint has come off. It's not put on correctly. There's a big air gap right up here. I'll show you another thing that I've realized. What is that? Radiator fluids on the inside of the fender, meaning that thing is leaking somewhere, of course. And then it's hard to see, and I'll get a light, but I'll show you what I found under here. Pretty amazing. And so I'm gonna go ahead and get started on that, and we'll see what I find as I'm taking it apart. All right, so real quick, I wanted to show you, this is where the intake comes through the radiator support and into the grill area to have cold air. Well, if you notice, and I can't point because I'm holding a flashlight, but if you notice under the tube, do you see all those little marks? Well, that's what happens when you can't fit the tube through and you need to bend the metal down in order to get that to come through, and they're at the top too. But how do you think that was done? That was done by getting pliers and just grabbing the metal and bending it down. Now, I don't mind the method, it works, but what I do mind is it was never painted back again, and it's just bare metal, so it will rust. And it's just little details like that that get me a little upset, because that's something simple. A little airbrush could fix that. So here we go. All right, so here we go. Oh, I got you. Are we double-side taped or something? Yeah. Gasket material. So I got that, which is fine. I don't know if those are little rib nuts or what that is. But I don't know if you can see, because I can't see in the camera, but right here, this huge crack. And then this one's cracked. This one down here is cracked. So not as bad as I thought, but definitely not what we wanted. So what I'm gonna do when I take this out is I'm gonna kind of determine whether or not we'll reuse it or we'll just throw this in the trash, because I know we're gonna have to redo all that. So we may just redo all of it. For now, I'm gonna go get some blue tape and tape as much of this up as I can so I don't screw something up. So now I've got some nuts holding the filter on from this side. I'm going to take those off real quick and see if I can't get this thing apart. Okay, that's all off. Now I think this will come off. So, I don't know if you can hear that, but those are metal shavings. Holy crap. Okay, so I'm gonna try to show you this. But can y'all see the metal shavings in the filter? It's full of them. It is absolutely full of metal shavings. Good Lord. Yeah, we won't be reusing this little setup. Let me see if I can get the camera off. Hold tight. Oh wow, it gets even better, guys. All right, hold tight. All right, so look at the hole first off. Awesome. Look at all the metal shavings that fell out of the filter and were in there to begin with. Tried a couple times with the holes. I mean, those are just butchered. I just don't get it, how somebody couldn't run a file around that hole. All right, let me continue, because I know it's going to be a lot of this, is me getting pissed off. All right, everybody, I got the box out, and I want to show you something. And again, Kenwood Rod Shop built this truck. And I want to say that because if it was built perfect, I would have said Kenwood Rod Shop built this truck and it's perfect. And so I'm not going to say that name because it's not done well. I'm going to say that name because I would have said it whether it was done right or done wrong. And it was their decision what to turn over to me. And so if you notice, I've taken the airbox out, and I don't know if you can see it. How about that? So all the paint is rubbed off, and it's pretty rough. Like something was cutting the metal, and you can see a line that goes up the fender, and then there's some right there you can see, and it's all beat to hell. And it's got a giant hole right there. And even below the lines right there you can see it, but it's got a big hole. And you would think, well, what's that for? And so then, let's go look at, is there anything else? Yeah, I've got to look at all that. And there's some rust already down there from metal shavings that have rusted over. But let's go look at the airbox. Now remember, the Blazer's done. Hand it back to the owner. So, you know, it's all scratched up, beat up. It has metal shavings inside of it. Like, look at this joker. Look at that guy right there. That's in the airbox. All of this right here. More metal shavings in the airbox. I mean, it's full of them. Listen. It's full of them. So I wondered, I was like, well, what? And you got to love the multiple holes trying to get it right. Nobody ran a file over this edge. This will cut you. It's butchered so bad. But what would scratch the inner fender? Well, let's look underneath this piece of crap. Blue tape's still on it. So this has a bolt in it that is not actually long enough to come out and bolt from underneath. So instead of actually fixing it or doing it right, they just left this sitting on the inner fender, and that's the support. It wasn't bolted to anything at all, and that's why it's all beat up here. It's beat up here. It's beat up here because it wasn't secured to anything. So this is, and again, no painted edges. All this is just raw steel, so it's going to rust. And then you go over here, and the paint's coming off already. Or maybe that was meant to be some sort of gasket. I don't really know. And this is all, I mean, it's sticky, so I'm not getting it off. My mass airflow sensor's fine. All that's what it is. But I just cannot, for the life of me, understand how you could say, you know what, don't check any quality of anything that's full of metal shavings. It hasn't been painted. It's all beat to shit. Excuse my language. And that right there, sticking out of the bottom, and I guess it was, maybe it was tack welded or something. I don't really know why that was done like that, or why they had to drill a hole in my fender because of it. But good Lord. There's the hole, there's the damage. That whole fender's gonna have to be touched up, which maybe if I can get somebody to build a box correctly, I can cover it up, which I don't want to do. Obviously, I am going to paint it and clear it and things like that. I don't know, man. And you know, I noticed, look right there, I'll try to zoom in. That's the dipstick, which is fine. It needed to go there. But it's laying on top of the header. And the spark plug wire, again, laying on top of the header. Headers are hot. They don't need things laying on top of them. I don't get it. I'm a little frustrated. This is why I didn't want to take this thing apart, because I knew that if I started taking it apart, I would see even more and make me upset. So we're just going to go through everything over time, and I'm going to show you what comes out of that shop. Y'all have a good night. I'm out of here. So I can't even stop. I can't. I'm so upset about it that I just can't. Like this, I found this reducer coupler with a bunch of grease on it on the mass airflow sensor. Instead of buying a 4:3 or whatever the size should be, they have this thing, which is for some reason packed with grease. And then look right here, you see all this. These are metal shavings. All I did when I put it down is I did like that, look. And it's packed full of metal. I don't get it. I don't know what I did to piss these people off. But my God. Like, that's an all aluminum LS motor. It was not free or cheap. And I know that some stuff got through when it was running. I don't know what this, I guess this was just painted and then stuck on real quick, because it's really sticky. Maybe it was glue or RTV or just paint. The tube's bent, flat on the bottom. This scratched the hell out of my fender. Somebody just didn't know what they were doing to begin with. It's just, I mean, come on. I don't even know what to say.